This is our submission for the Aerospace Lab final project. The system we mean to simulate is the instrument bus for a potential planetary lander or rover. Planetary lander or rover has the purpose of characterizing its environment through the use of onboard scientific instruments. With the use of electronic sensors and an Arduino, we can simulate such a system in our own backyard. Here we have an example of our system in action. So first, we have the BMP280 pressure and temperature sensor from Adafruit. Then we have the MPU6050 collecting acceleration and rotation rates, inertial measurement unit. And finally, we have the color sensor from Adafruit that collects color data and luminosity data. That light helps us detect the color of the object better. Furthermore, we have the SD card breakout board that allows us to collect measurements from the other sensors and put it into the SD card for safekeeping. And here's an example of the Arduino sending values to the stereo monitor. The code developed for this lesson allows us to take all the measurements from the sensors on board the instrument suite, store it into the microSD card through the use of the microSD card breakout board, and store it in such a format that allows us to easily import the data into programs such as MATLAB and Excel through a text file. So in this, I'm going to show you an example of how you can do that through MATLAB. As you can see, once we open the import program, we can select the limited, comma, and numeric matrix. This allows us to take all of the data from all the sensors and import it into a numeric matrix for MATLAB for analysis. On the left side, you can see that we have all of the timestamps for the data. We have the temperature in Celsius, the pressure in pascals, and the rest of the measurements. All of these measurements and their units can be found in the Arduino script attached to this lesson. So what we want to do is import the selection. It's going to take a little bit. And we can see that it's imported 5,101 points, rows, and 15 columns. And the data taken for this specific data log was taken over the course of an hour and 15 minutes. So it gives us a good idea of what's happening in the environment during that time. After going in and plotting the data from the data log, the first column, the timestamp, versus the pressure data, the third column of the data log matrix, we produce this plot of pressure versus time over the course of an hour and 15 minutes. And we can see that, yeah, it looks a little bit bumpy, but this is expected. Ultimately, this system allows us to store significant scientific data, while helping us characterize the environment, onto a storage system similar to how we would store it on board planetary rover, planetary lander, and serves as a cheaper example of how we can develop these advanced systems on other planets on Earth.